Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Yona of the Dawn, chapter 217. When we last left our heroes, Hawk is supposedly dead. I think there's no way in hell he's actually dead, but he has not been found amidst the wreckage of the flood, and so everyone sort of has to react on the assumption that he's at least gone. Yona tries to keep up a brave face around the dragons and the Wind Tribe who finally arrive to the castle. But we see her, once she's alone with Suwon, she sort of finally cracks and breaks down, demanding to know where Hawk is. There's a lot of other good moments in here too, specifically with when Suwon sort of wraps a blanket around Yona. She internally berates him for pretending to be her childhood friend after all this time. Which is, again, some more good stuff there. But all in all, it's a chapter really focused on Yona and most of the cast, but specifically Yona, dealing with the loss of Hawk. So with that, let's dive right on into chapter 217. We have the magazine cover, first and foremost, of Yona and Hawk under one of those traditional umbrellas. Great showing Hawk when he's supposed to be dead right now, but okay. We start chapter 217, tightly closed lid. And we open on Suwon. I'm assuming this is the immediate aftermath of Yona's sort of mini breakdown last month, as he thinks, why now? My head hurts. Oh no, I think he's going through some crimson illness symptoms. Min-Su walks in. Excuse me, the four dragons have come for Princess Yona. And Yona and Suwon sort of acknowledge him. Yona wipes her eyes. And the dragons come in. Kija just says, Princess. It's all of them except for Jeha, by the way. I don't know where Jeha's supposed to be right now, but Yona stands up. Sorry for making you worry. There was something I wanted to look up. She just walks right past Suwon. Suwon kind of watches her go. And Yona notes, but I'm going now. And we see Jeha is there. He's just not in that top panel. And he just sort of watches Yona as she leaves, but kind of hesitates. He turns back to Suwon. She was red around the eyes. And Suwon sort of is shocked at I guess, either Jeha addressing him, or just noting the redness of Yona's eyes. Huh? And Jeha continues, she wept in front of you, but forces a smile for us. I envy you. And Suwon's kind of stunned at Jeha's statement and thinks he is mistaken. Her tears were of grief and despair. Well, yeah, that's not quite really, Jeha acknowledges that. He's more envious of Yona being open with him. And intense anger. That's the mistake there. As he flashes back to what Yona said last chapter. Where is Hawk? Tell me. To think that I have forced her to this. Stop thinking. I have chosen. Thrown away all unneeded boxes. That was what Father did. So he's, okay. Here's an interesting little caveat. Because Suwon has always presented himself as he will do what must be done. He will not feel pity. He will not feel pain. He knows what has to be done in his own mind to protect Coca. Whether he's right or not is a whole other debate we can have. And he refuses to waver. But now he's wavering. Which presents a whole new side to him. That this doesn't, it's always seemed like that came easy to him. Even as a child, there was something kind of cold and off about him. That Yonhee noted. Right, that was his mom's name, right? Yonhee? Yeah, I think so. Yonhee sort of noted that. But even so, there is this sort of deep interiority to him, as he's trying to be this person. He normally succeeds, but as this sort of page shows us, he doesn't always quite get there. Again, they really just don't write villains like Suwon. Anyway, Suwon thinks, there's no way for me to know where Hawk is. Actually, I don't even have the spare time to think about Hawk. Then he looks down. Then why have I been looking at the map of Keen Province? Yeah, there's a lot more to him than he's not really what, he's not quite living up to the ideal of what he wants. As we saw last chapter, he was sort of thinking about where Hawk might be. And sure, Hawk is an incredibly powerful soldier, but that doesn't quite seem to be why he's so interested in Hawk right now. And he flashes back to Yona's screaming last chapter and has this throb and thinks, the lid of a closed, discarded box has... And we have this image of a bunch of boxes, I guess of all of his sort of other considerations, what it's supposed to symbolize. And one of them has accidentally been unlatched, and like sand pours out of it. Yeah. So we can interpret that, I think, in a number of ways. Is there some sort of romantic feeling that he's sort of clamped down on, but is now sort of reawakened? Or is there something a little more, or is it more sort of that platonic childhood friend feeling? And I'm not entirely sure that's a relevant discussion, but it is an interesting one. Anyway, we cut to a hawk or an owl or a falcon or something, and the banners of like militaries. And we're with the Wind Tribe with Taewoo and Hande. And Hande looks out, oh, what a sight, now all the armies have assembled. And we see the Fire Tribe, the Water Tribe, the Royal Sky Tribe, headed by, it's not Taejun who's running the Fire Tribe, right? Who's running the Fire Tribe right now? Is it his brother, his father? One of the two. It's been so long since we've seen the Fire Tribe. I miss Taejun. I think it's Kan Kyoga, according to the wiki. And then Lily's father with the Water Tribe army, and of course Suwon with the Sky Tribe. And then Taewoo for the Wind Tribe, looking far less regal than the rest of them. Hande notes, the Earth Tribe army must be waiting on the front lines. And then he asks Taewoo, where are we going again? And Taewoo tells him, defend Kien Province, which is in bad shape after being flooded, and advance inland towards South Kai. And another Wind Tribe guy, again, sort of cutting back the sort of regalness of the other three armies. So far away. And then Kai Suk comes up to Suwon. The broken bridge leading to Kien Province will soon be repaired, Your Majesty. And Suwon feels this throbbing. This feels much more illness-based than the sort of he's feeling emotions now that we saw with Hawk. And Kai Suk notes that, Your Majesty, your health. And someone then calls out, Suwon! And it's Yona and the dragons, who have arrived now too. And Hawk tells him, Suwon, I will go to the battlefield with you. And Suwon is still sort of pushing back against the notion of Yona being there. I told you, there is no need. And Yona then questions, are you certain that you won't fall ill? That last part is unsaid, of course, because no one can really hear that part. And I think this is Yona still talking to Suwon. If something happens to you, I will support you. Let's end this war quickly. And after the war ends, with it, our alliance. Okay. So that's the first time they sort of set up a firm endpoint to the alliance. That Yona will leave after this whole South Kai business ends. I am going to look for Hawk. Alright. Okay. It's specifically for Hawk. Sort of shocking Suwon, and the dragon, Shina chimes in, Yona, so will I, and Kija, and I think that's Jeha's yes. Zeno, interestingly, is kind of silent there. Kind of curious as to if that's supposed to mean anything, but Suwon just turns and walks off, and we see the bird earlier, which I guess is wasn't it Suwon's like bird from when they were kids, Gulfon? Right? Am I remembering that right? Let me check the wiki. Raised by both Hawk and Suwon. It's very much a stub of an article, the wiki. But yeah. Anyway, Suwon's bird. Sorry, I forgot about that part. Anyway, Hande looks up. That's And one of the Fire Tribe soldiers also notes, oh, and they all see Yona up on the parapets. Princess Yona, 4 dragons! We have King Hiryu and the 4 dragons on our side. Let's win this! I think that's a Sky Tribe soldier. And again, given all of Suwon's sort of hang-ups over the national faith, that sort of morale boost by faith, I'm curious how that will change once Yona leaves. And if maybe Kai-suk in particular will sort of try to stop Yona from leaving so that they don't lose that kind of morale. I don't know. They just cheer, Princess Yona, 4 dragons! And there's like raucous cheering from the troops below. I'm not sure who this guy is. It might be some attendant commenting, you're so popular. And Kai-suk thinks, the great unifiers. Princess Yona and the 4 dragons now symbolize the kingdom. Should the alliance really be dissolved? Yeah! I mean, that's basically what I just said. Yeah, it's not exactly a good look for Team Suwon if Yona leaves, given that Yona has become this symbol of Koka. And then we cut to just image of the sky. And we see someone thinking, the sky? Where? Oh, we're with Hawk. We're with Hawk now. Wow. My goodness. Let's bury these corpses quickly. Oh, he's in a grave. Corpse? And yeah, we see Hawk on top of all of these bodies. What is this? And he's like hit with some dirt by the grave diggers. He can't really, doesn't have the strength to talk. Ow. And he thinks, wait, I'm not dead. And he gets up. The soldiers are shocked. Oh, he's alive. He's escaping. He's from Koka. Oh, these are the South Kai soldiers who have found he's being buried with the South Kai guys. Okay. And as Hawk tries to move, he just thinks, my body is heavy as lead. And he gets out of the grave, but he falls right over. One of the troops calls, catch him! And someone stops him. I'm going to bet it's going to be Ra'an as a favor to saving the horse. Please wait. Oh, no, it's some like housewife. This man is my husband. What? He got washed away in the flood. Thank goodness you found him. Okay. So he's being saved by some civilian. Maybe it's just an act of kindness. Maybe there's something more to it. Please let him go. I'll take him home. And the soldier throws Hawk to her. Here. And Hawk just lies there, unable to really even lift his head. And we get this whole shot of this little boy looking down at him. It's a really weird focus for some kid. The kid who's with the woman, I should clarify. But it's still sort of... It's weird. I think that the image might be Hawk's eyes closing as he falls unconscious. It's the last thing he sees. But that boy is a weird thing to spend a whole page on. Right? But anyway, we cut to Hawk, who's now woken up at the woman's home, I suspect, wrapped up in bandages, the boy on top of him. Good morning. And Hawk just kind of groans at him. Ugh. And the boy calls, Mother, he's awake. The woman says, get off of him, Ron. He's hurt. Okay. Might be a random crack theory, but Ron isn't super dissimilar to Ra'an. There's almost no way that she's Ra'an's actual wife or something. But I don't know. It's an interesting little note. Hawk asks, who are you? My name is Sonon. You're not unhurt, but you're lucky you're still alive. That was a grave for the casualties of war. You were washed there by the flood. And Hawk is still only kind of barely conscious, just mutters out, flood. And then he realizes everything, and he flings himself up and throbs in pain. Ah! My body feels like it's breaking into pieces. And Hawk asks her, how many days has it been since the flood? How is Keen Province doing? And the woman tells him, a week. I don't know about survivors, but the standoff with Koka still continuing. Which, as Hawk sort of notes, and as that particular word choice kind of indicates, she's from South Kai. Is she from South Kai? And he reaches for something around his waist, and Sonon asks, what's wrong? Where's the white pouch that was tied to my belt? Oh, the medicine pouch! He's lost the medicine pouch. And Sonon tells him, I didn't find any. And Hawk tries to stand up, but he falls right over and thinks, the Senjutsu! And Sonon kneels down to get to, like, eye level with him. Was it something important? And Hawk sort of pauses for a moment before telling her, again, he can't really be too open because of why he needs the Senjutsu. I can't return without it. Return where? And Hawk doesn't really answer, and Sonon tells him, it's wartime. All people from Koka have been executed. If you don't want to die, you should stay hidden. Soon, this place will... So she's aware he's from Koka, but she's defending him. I'm kind of curious as to why. But we hear this thump on the door. Or, I'm assuming it's a door. And Ron looks out the window. Mother, something's coming. It's big and dark and black. And Sonon notes, so the great generals of South Kai have come. And we only see two of them in silhouette. I think it's the two we've met before, right? Because one of them was bald, and the one in front is definitely bald. I forgot their names already. But I think it is the two generals that Ra'an had that sort of rapport with. One of them, no, because it can't be both of them, because one of them snuck off to Koka to rescue Maignan, right? Actually, hold on. Wasn't Chagol wouldn't be here, would he? I don't know. We see the two silhouettes. Stranded in enemy territory, a shadow looms over Hawk. Continues in issue 2, December 20th. Okay. So, my first thought is, I'm a little shocked at how quickly we got back to Hawk. You know, I thought Hawk would be missing for a long while. But it was only a chapter and a half, which it makes sense, I suppose. No one really thought Hawk was dead, right? So, you know, may as well just go ahead and come out with it. But yeah, we see Hawk sort of in South Kai is the interesting thing. So I'm curious how exactly that storyline is going to progress. How are Ron and Sonon going to sort of factor in? I think Hawk's a little lucky that I don't think the Kai generals recognize him, given that only Ra'an would know him, and if neither of those silhouettes is in any way Ra'an. So if it's only the two of them, Hawk's probably safe if Sonon covers for him. But also, he's in a bit of trouble given the loss of the Senjutsu. And if Hawk doesn't have the Senjutsu, then Suwon's kind of fucked, and Maignan is fucked, and Suwon might just fuck over Yona just because. So, you know, not really a great state for him to be in right now. But yeah, that's sort of where Hawk is. He's stranded behind enemy lines, surrounded by all of South Kai. He'll get out somehow, but it's not going to be easy. Meanwhile, we see the sort of the last moments before war, with a bit of Suwon sort of. Yeah, this chapter really divided into 3 thirds. We had the last third is that Hawk bit. The first third is looking into Suwon a lot more honestly than we maybe ever have, as Suwon is sort of unable to really keep up with the whole, you know, I am emotionless, I will do what I must for Koka, no matter who I have to hurt, who I have to crush, what I have to do, I will do it for my vision of Koka. He's sort of breaking there. You know, the lid of a closed discarded box has opened, we see in the visual. So we'll see how that changes Suwon, because Suwon is going through some kind of change. We'll see how all that plays out, especially with what happens during the second scene. During that sort of that sort of last moment before war, as the army set out, what we see with both Yona and with Kaisuk. Because Yona's all, after this, you know, I'm going to help you through this war, and then we're done. You know, our alliance is done, and I'm going to find Hawk. I'm going to leave, and maybe I won't be a criminal anymore, but I'm not going to stay here. That's not where my place is. You know, she's always sort of said, back to earlier in the series, that she's always been a much more like low-level kind of leader figure, not the sort of monarch. I know there's been a lot of criticism towards how Yona's sort of been shunted into this monarch role in this arc. And Yona's sort of saying, that's not going to be a permanent thing. After this war, I'm done, I'm out. I'm going to look for Hawk. It's a little bit unclear if that would change if Hawk was found. as Hawk very well might just show up to the war on his own. But I hope for the sake of good drama that it won't, given, the sort of strain this puts on Kaisuk. Because Kaisuk is sort of realizing that now it's Suwon who needs this alliance. Suwon needs the sort of morale leadership, the morale boost that having these gods come down to earth sort of represents. And I imagine Kaisuk cooking up some kind of scheme to get Yona to stay. I don't know what that's going to look like exactly, but it's not going to be great for Yona, I predict. But then, we cut to Hawk, and Hawk is back, as I said, trying to enemy territory. And it's another damn good chapter of Yona, as the war is really right about to kick off for real. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good shit. I think I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, life is your own, okay? Bye!